One of the telltale signs of a great player is that they make the game look like it's moving slowly. Everything around them could be moving at 1,000,000 miles per hour, yet they're just composed, patient, calm in chaos. So in this breakdown, I want to give you guys a feel for how you can start to slow the game down for yourself. And if you apply these methods and these thought processes, you'll feel the game start to respond to you rather than always feel like you're moving too fast, maybe a step behind, or having a tough time making the right decision. Let's dive into it. Hopefully you learned something. So first off is the importance of vision in the nervous system, which sounds crazy to be the first point, but just hear me out. If you think about it, the more you're able to see, or the larger your field of vision is, the more options you have available to you. You see different pockets of space, open teammates, and as a result, it's tougher for the defense to take away all of your options. If you're only able to see what's directly in front of you, you can imagine how easy it is to stop you. You have one option, so if you get cut off, it's done. And I see players get tunnel vision all the time where they'll get downhill, have options open, and they just won't make the pass or even get into a space that is open. And a lot of the time they get blamed for being selfish, when in reality, they may be, but it's likely either they have tunnel vision and literally don't see them through a narrow field of vision, or two, they see it, but they don't really process that it is an option. And noticing this years ago, I looked into it and did some extensive research, and it opened my eyes a ton. So studies show that as your sympathetic nervous system activity goes up, in other words, your fight or flight mechanism, the part of your nervous system that gets you going, your field of vision narrows. So while your central vision will actually be better, much of what we rely on in basketball is the movement out of our peripheral field. So if we're too hyped up, we scientifically have tunnel vision. And it works the other way around too. Seeing out of your peripheral vision can actually calm you down a bit. I'm not kidding, try it. You can pause the video right now, take a step back, and just relax your eyes trying to identify things out of your peripheral vision. It kind of calms you down a bit. So there's actually some value in working on your peripheral vision with drills like this that can be super tough. Jeff is an NBA point guard, so it's a little bit easier for him. But it still ain't easy, and this isn't just for the vision, but also the ability to access that parasympathetic nervous system, or the more calm, composed part of it. And what else can help with this? Something I've talked about time and time again: meditation, sharpening the mental tools that calm you down and get you back from that super fight or flight, high adrenaline, hyped up feeling during the game, back to playing a little bit more calm. So meditation, breathing techniques during the game, all the things we cover in the Mental Skills Academy, with dedicated work, will help you a lot as you'll see more of the floor, you'll slow down a bit, and make better decisions. Now, other times the opposite happens. Players won't actually see an open player or an opportunity, so their vision isn't even involved, but they still know it's there. And while I wish developing eyes on the back of your head was doable, how this really happens is pattern recognition, court mapping, and spatial awareness. In the most simple terms, look at this play where he doesn't actually see his teammate before he gets into that passing motion. This one speaks a bit more to spatial awareness and court mapping, where right now he sees his defender, knows that if he's charging at him, that means he must have left his teammate right here, and allows him to flip his head around and make the pass without even actually seeing him open. This could also go for ball screen passes like this, based on patterns, where as he comes off, he knows that if this tag defender takes away the roll, then this teammate's going to be open. It's one of those fundamental patterns of basketball. And this is why studying the game, getting repetition with live play, and quality coaching will really help you slow the game down. Because now, rather than seeing this and reacting to it, you're anticipating it. You're ahead of the game now. And this should be a mindset you work to develop. Rather than always reacting, even on the catch, you're looking to be ahead of the game and not just figure it out when you catch the ball. Like here, he already knows he's going to attack this closeout before the ball even gets there, because he's in that anticipatory mindset rather than a reactive one. Same thing on hard hedges or blitzes, for example, where some players simply react to it, but others can anticipate it coming because of a scouting report, or even just seeing this big flying out there eagerly at the level of the screen and knowing that they're going to be coming out to trap. Another important concept all this brings to mind is scanning. To map out the court and develop awareness, being able to take in the entire picture of the court is vital. Sometimes this is conscious, where you'll purposefully be looking around as you come up the court or get into an action, and other times it's just natural. But creating a habit of seeing the floor and picking up on the position of your teammates and the defense is very important, and something you'll see from the best players, as they're constantly eliminating any surprise by being ahead of the game and keeping a live map of the court in their head. Now, for the next point, I want to switch it up from vision and speak more about the pace side of things. This one's a bit more logical, I guess, considering that if you slow down, the game may tend to move slower. Pretty easy to understand. If you enter traffic at a slower rate, it gives you more time to perceive the entire situation around you and make a decision. You also limit tunnel vision by playing in a more calm nervous system state because you're not 110%, which opens up everything in that periphery. And you're not at such a high speed that you can't decelerate and make shots, passes, and counters. But the question is, how do you actually play at your pace? Well, first off, I have a video about this, and I tend to talk about it a lot. To give some quick vital points, first off, allow the ball to spend more time in your hands. No, I'm not saying to carry it. I'm telling you to get good at floating the rock in your hands and letting it spin between dribbles because, well, the more you have the ball in your hand, the more time you have to actually act. When the ball is here, you can't do much, really anything with it. It's in the air. It's out of your control. But when it's in your hand, you can pass, change directions, shoot, and as a result, it feels like the game is in your control for longer. Well, it is in your control for longer. Secondly is making 90% your 100%. In other words, doing your best to never get up to 100% speed. At times, of course, you'll use it if you have a wide open window into space or to the rim. Maybe you'll put the jets on and go 100%. But if you can cap yourself at a more composed, relaxed, but still fast speed, you'll be on the way to feeling the game slow down. Similarly, sometimes it's best to make decisions a bit slower too. A lot of players make decisions right when they see the opportunity, but in certain situations, it's actually best to wait a split second for it to open up more. Like here, Jokic waits till this cut gets fully through for this 2v1 to really come to fruition and makes this defender fully choose. So especially on plays like this, take your time, make a quick decision but not a rushed one. And lastly, take advantage of contact and angles. Many players are constantly at full speed because once they get an advantage, they treat it like a foot race. If you're able to cut defenders off with the right angles and a willingness to bump and get in front or put them on their heels, you can play at a much slower pace. You don't need that full advantage. And then lastly is building instincts. For the best players, they're able to make these super quick, reflexive decisions over and over again. And it's not because they're thinking about it, it's because they've developed such an elite, fast-thinking brain that they just trust their instincts. If a defender tries to cut them off, they're not thinking about what to do. That fast-thinking brain just takes over. I talk about this all the time, but it truly does make the game feel slower because sometimes you just do things without thinking about it and it's like, damn, I'm really in control and able to respond to whatever the defense does. And this is built through a ton of live play, accumulating these quick decisions over and over again. So if you focus on all of these things, take them into account when you're playing, and trust that it's a big learning process that you're gonna have to go through, but one that's worth it, I think you'll see the game slow down a lot. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in. Again, as I mentioned, if you want to check out the Mental Skills Academy, it's really gonna help you get in tune with your mind, sharpen your mental tools, and I'll put the link in the description. Until next time.